Bonder's Ornament is unbanned. Let's see if it's done anything. Hi guys, welcome back to Casting Commons, the show where we talk and discuss all things Pauper. I am your host, Teasdale, and this is my co-host, the ardent recruit himself, Reese.
Hello.
Before we start, do not forget to support us by rating us 5 stars on Spotify, following us on Twitter or X at Casting Commons 1 for the most recent Pauper deck lists, and of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. Are you okay?
Yeah, good. Back from holidays. Back to the normal scheduled programming. Hopefully the one last week was fine on my balcony with my earphones in.
I got quite a bit of feedback saying it was fine. I'm assuming the app that sort of levels all the audio and stuff for us must have
worked.
Done anything if it needed it or anything. But yeah, so yeah, it's good. It was very good. But yeah, good to be back. Feeling all relaxed and refreshed.
Yeah, ready to play some Magic again because I haven't for over a week, which is cold turkey break.
Got the shakes.
But I think it's this Wednesday. Our Pauper League is on for the second event, second leg, second whatever of that. So that'll be good. I need to figure out what I'm playing and pull a deck together.
Well, you've got Bonder's Ornament now, so the world is your oyster, right?
I will probably not play a deck with Bonder's Ornament in. It's not my style at all.
Sad. Oh well, I guess that sort of is quite tangential, to be fair, because we went to Whitley Beer event like a couple of weeks ago, right? Which was obviously a great event. We stopped for food at this like lovely Persian restaurant. And we were talking about Wintergeddon and about planning on going to Wintergeddon this year. So we need to do like the logistics of that. But the question was asked by one of the lads to me was, what would you play? And obviously I don't like for me, like unlike like Reese, basically he has a lot of decks, but he navigates towards like 1 to 2 at a time, like in a window. So like at one point it'll be like all I'll do is main Kuldotha, then like the next one will be like all I'll do is main this. And it's very rare you like cycle through decks where I just play anything. Like I literally change decks all the time. I change decks. To be fair, I even nearly changed deck. I went to change deck on the day of that event. Like literally went to pick up the other box. He was like, I'll play that. And then someone was like, oh yeah, I've left a card. I was like, okay, I guess I won't play that. So, but that sort of then made me think. I was like, oh, maybe I should start thinking about what to play and what I'll like look at. But then it occurred to me, right? There's 4 sets between now and Wintergeddon in December. 4. Like, no matter how many times, right, I don't really mind the UB and the set, whatever. I'm still more shocked when I get new information on stuff like this. Like 4 sets a year is crazy. We used to get 4 sets in an entire calendar year at one point. And we've now got 4 sets between, where we at, May till December. That is nuts!
And 1 or 2 more BNRs as well, which obviously Bonder's Ornament is on trial at the moment, so that might go, it might stay, and then there might be something else changed as well. It's a lot, especially when sets like we've seen it with Strixhaven, obviously the most recent example, and like an entire new deck spawns from the set, from it printing like 2 cards or 1 card. They have like the potential to change the meta quite a lot, and are for the most part, like most sets introduce like either a big change to a deck or an entire new deck to the format, which
especially as of late, right? Like obviously the first few sets, like I'd say like Spider-Man and like EOE were like slow burners. You got very few cards, like dribs and drabs, and they didn't really massively change the format. Like they changed a couple of decks here and there, but
I think they eventually did though, right? They were like pretty slow to take up, but then like EOE basically made a mono-green Tron deck, I think, because it had kill ship.
Yeah. But that sort of thing, like they do add stuff, but either they'll take a while or they don't like, or they have a big impact like from the get-go, right? With like Boros Tribe, for example. So like, what I'm trying to get at, is there even any point in even like, for me who doesn't have a deck, right? Don't get me wrong, right? If I was to go tomorrow, I could definitely say between two decks, between Boros Tribe and Pizza. They'd be the two, one of the two decks, because I've got the most reps with / they're my style of deck, right? I like a random combo deck with like quirky interactions. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, is there any point? Like, don't get me wrong, I'll carry on playing them, but I'm not gonna go, do you know what? I should build this deck up and have this ready to go, because there's 4 sets. That's like a whole, like, when we first started playing, that is a whole literal year of sets released.
Yeah. Yeah, I sort of get your meaning. Like, you can't you can plan in to some extent by, like you say, oh, I'm still just going to test Tribe, but I don't think you can expect to take it if you're bothered about taking something that is relevant, because it might just not be relevant to the meta in 4 sets time.
But to me, it's like, I don't even know why. It might not even be not relevant. Like, obviously, I took Poison Storm to the last Geddon. Like, I'm not bothered about it being like, do you know what I mean? Meta to extent. But I played that many different decks, like 4 sets. I could have literally fell in love with 3 different decks by then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
it's like, it's such a strange thing to, like, it still like blows my mind when I think about it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll start building Tribe. I'm like, wait, well, is there any point? But then, it's just so weird. You know what I mean? I'm just like so bamboozled by it. Like, why do we need this many sets? There's a lot.
They all make money, I guess.
Woo! And let's not even get started on the fact that 3 of them, right? Obviously, UB is Reality Fracture UB. I don't think so.
No,
right?
No, it's not. No.
So you've got 3 out of the 4 are UB. So you've got the next one's the Marvel Superheroes, the most anticipated set of the year that everyone's really excited about. Then you've got the Hobbit, which is, you know, whatever, like, I'm sure. And then you've got Reality Fracture. And then last set is Star Trek. So the newest set you will have is Star Trek.
Oh.
How does that make you feel, stemming on that?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Reality Fracture looks cool. It's got a cool concept. It sort of gives me nostalgia for Planet Chaos, which is quite cool.
Is that the idea? Is that what it's supposed to be? Is basically like,
I believe so, yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
They showed like a blue Chandra, for example.
Right.
It's like all colour shifted, which will be pretty sick. That's a really cool idea. Obviously, they've done it before, and Planet Chaos was really cool.
And it's really, I really like the cards in that regardless. Like, it's always nice to have like the breaks in, not breaks in Colour Pie, but you know what I mean? Like the things that can work and they don't get very often.
And they tend to produce quite strong, or at least interesting cards to use as well. Like when they're in a colour that they shouldn't be. But I imagine it'll be a lot more balanced than Planet Chaos was, where Planet Chaos was just like, I am just going to change the colour of this card. I guess it'll probably be more like flavoured to the colour, but yeah, should be cool. The Hobbit is an interesting one, because obviously Lord of the Rings like essentially rewrote the Pauper format with all the land cyclers and things. It'll be interesting to see if the Hobbit makes either those cards more available, so like reprints, like stuff like Lorien, which would be a really good reprint, or goes more its own direction and makes its own like unique cards. If it's obviously a similar power level to Lord of the Rings, it's probably going to have quite a big impact.
This is the awkward thing. I think
it's sort of not the worst either, because it's the least UB feeling of the UB sets, because it's not superheroes and spacecrafts.
Yeah, I think like for me, the going on to the power level thing, I don't know if they're going to get to that, right? I don't think they'll be able to, because I'm going off the assumption, right, that Hobbit is going to be standard legal like the rest of them. And
right, yeah.
And obviously,
turns it away then.
Lord of the Rings was obviously straight to modern.
Yeah.
So they might have the ability to put some cards in that were in Lord of the Rings, like reprint some cards that they'll think, oh, that's fine for standard, for example. But I think, like, obviously other cards, like the modern power levels, you've got, it can't reprint those, right? Otherwise it'll break
I
standard.
guess that's maybe why the One Ring's a box topper, because they can't put it in the actual set because it's for standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, and then again, right, and we're talking about all these things, right? You've got The Hobbit, which is like the least UB because it's sort of like Magic adjacent, right? You've got Reality Fracture, which is obviously Planar Chaos adjacent, which was obviously a really cool set. But going back to though, like, especially Planar Chaos, like, thing, like, had really cool design, like, just colour shifting cards and, you know, just interesting things in it. They also had, like, 3 months of the year to design it. So, you know what I mean? So, like, you've got all this time to make these really cool cards. Do they have time to balance these colour-shifted cards, though? Like, you know, as you were saying, oh, we've now got a Black Lightning Bolt, for example. Do you actually have time to balance a Black Lightning Bolt? Because, you know... So, it is interesting, right? Because you've also got, like, that many sets. It's like, do they... Like, a lot of the time you see them putting, like, once a turn on stuff. Don't you? You say, we don't have time to test this guy. I'll just put once a turn on. Be alright. Fix it.
Yeah. I think obviously stuff is getting missed. Like Utrom is like a massive example of something that's clearly missed. Like the team designing that commander, not commander, that multiplayer
battle box thing.
Just had no clue what impact it would have on Pauper. And like it should have just been at uncommon, or it should have been in the main set. But I don't know. Like they clearly have less time to do things than they used to, and there's obviously lots of cards being missed. Like the amount of cards getting banned, not really out of Pauper, but out of standard and modern is like ridiculous. So I expect there to be more banned out of standard. Hopefully the commons, and it's a weird one, isn't it? Because we've got that Marvel set, the Spider-Man set. The commons were for the most part absolutely abhorrent. Like. They literally just threw them together last minute. They were not even like limited playable, really. But we did get like a couple cards out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be that far down that this is so badly designed that it's not playable. But you also don't want it to be the other way.
Yeah, so it does seem like the very much like hit and miss because of that. But that's expected when they are just a machine, right? That's just churning product. But
keeping Hasbro alive because the monopoly money can't.
Yeah, but it like, don't get me wrong, I am excited for generally new sets. Like I'm very like I don't get excited for like obviously superheroes and stuff. I'll like obviously when the cards start coming and I'm like, oh okay, that's interesting in this regard for Pauper, and I can obviously take away from the UB shit that, you know, Black Panther or Captain America's flying over, I don't know, Summit. But yeah.
We've already got that though, haven't we? That ship sailed. We've got Leonardo and Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it's just, I just think the whole thing's just crazy still. It still hasn't sunk in properly. We get so many sets, so many outside of Magic Universe that you get, like, to me, like, you get excited when there's a card, like a set, like The Hobbit, which is Universes Beyond, but it's sort of in-universe in a sense because it's in-universe, but it's not at the same time.
But
if you don't...
It's not, it's
you know what I mean?
But it's a very similar feeling.
Yeah. So you get excited, you're like, yes, I've got another in-universe set, sort of.
Yeah, but it's like classic fantasy tropes, which obviously Magic is built on for the most part. Same as like the D&D sets, where I guess technically Universe Beyond, but just fit like perfectly into Magic.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's just more of a, hopefully someone else is like, you know, walking around somewhere with their headphones on and it's like the pennies just dropped that there's that many sets from now till Christmas that you were thinking, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask my mum for a box of Strixhaven at Christmas, and he's actually, no, I'm not, because there's 4 sets and Strixhaven's dead now. You know, that's what I got.
It is sad, yeah, because the sets just don't last as long.
No. Like, I don't think I've even
like limited in that.
I don't even think I've looked at, like, majority. I've looked at like the odd card here and there for Strixhaven. I haven't even like digested them to like see. Oh, can I build a random janky brew around this card or this card? And we're already nearly into next set.
Yeah,
crazy. Anything else to add on our lovely lots of sets here?
Complaint of the week. No.
Yeah. So yeah, some quick tournament news. We have the Threepenny Bit Pauper Team Trios is gone. No, it's gone. Is it past?
It was this week. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, so sad. I was really I kept hyping that up because I really like Pauper Trios. My bad. I haven't seen any results for it. That's why I haven't taken it off. It'd be interesting to see how that went. So we will happily delete that. My poor admin on our Google Docs. Anyways, there's a winner box in Langden Games, Ipswich, on the 4th of July. That is 32 player cap. Additional players can be added by player count if obviously you end up buying a ticket early and all that sort of stuff. £15 entry. The link for that is in the Discord, but it's also in the show notes as well, because there is a link there, so we'll put that in. And then Pauperfest 2026 in Vanyek Sports Centre, Hungary, 27th of June. That doesn't have a link, so the post for that is in the Discord if you do want to check that out. Obviously, Hungary's popping off lately for Pauper, so it's obviously going to be a big event, I imagine. Pretty sweet. And that's all we've got. If you do have any tournaments or anything that you want added on, obviously recommend joining the Discord, of course. You can go in the events to shout out tab and send it over. We'll add it to the show notes and we will be your hype man, hyping it up. Ugh. Anyways, news. So we did get some news generally about Magic Online and Magic Arena. They originally had this thing with Universes Beyond sets like Spider-Man had Through the Omen Paths. Yeah. And essentially for Magic Arena, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but essentially they're bringing the Spider-Man set and the Marvel Superheroes set both to Arena at the same time or something, and effectively trying to nullify Through the Omen Paths. Which I also find really odd. I don't know why they wouldn't just, if anyone has any Through the Omen Paths cards, give the Spider-Man equivalent cards, but then I guess...
I think they are.
They are? Okay.
But I'm not an Arena player, so I don't know 100%, but I think basically because the cards aren't worth anything on Arena, they're not real. Like, you can't sell them or trade them or whatever. I think they're basically just giving you the skin, like the new skin of the card, as well as the Omen Path skin, so you can play it either. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the case.
Okay. That's all right.
I'm not sure how they're going to do it on Magic Online, because obviously the same thing is happening on Magic Online.
Yes. My understanding is the same thing is happening on Magic Online, but because obviously it's like cards and you can sell them, trade them, do whatever you want with them, they are just bringing the set out.
Yeah, it's just available.
Yeah, and you can have one or the other, and they've basically sort of done it like the Street Fighter cards, where they basically have two names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like basically you could go a 2-2 split of Spider-Man, whatever he's called, Webslinger, and also and Darvel, whatever you want. Or most likely what will happen is, because everyone's got the Through the Omen Paths cards for a set that's, 17 sets ago by now, because it was only 3 months ago, they're just going to play Through the Omen Paths cards.
That's it. I sort of like the ideas, or the being able to do it is obviously good, because it was confusing already to have Through the Omen Paths when no one else did. Like, or no one else did like paper and that. But the fact that now both are there, I feel like makes it more confusing. I think though, but from the perspective though, which is good, they've sort of nipped it in the bud early, right? Yeah.
So that it's only one set. So the original plan was that it'd be no Disney or something, like no Marvel sets that they're going to do, and they've got so many deals with Marvel to do so many sets that essentially it would have been every single one will be a Through the Omen Paths equivalent.
Yeah.
But now they've only got the one, which for us, for Pauper players, isn't that bad. You've got like 3 playable cards at best from Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
So it's like not the end of the world, but Sure. It is annoying. Like, you get one Wekdu and one person's got, I don't even know what the other card's called.
The
bees.
Bee-man.
Swarm being of bees. You have a 1/1 split of those, but yeah, it's like not the end. Because luckily though, because through the Omen Paths is obviously just a set that has no lore, no nothing. I often find that generally the cards do generally stand out. Do you know what I mean? Like, because like you see the words Darvel of some whatever the hell, and you're like, okay, that's the Spider-Man card because it's such an awful name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, that's cool. Obviously, I'm assuming Marvel Snap is just dying, so Disney don't care about giving them the license anymore, maybe.
Yeah,
or not sharing the license.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's really strange. I'm assuming they've just sorted something out and realised that it actually impacts nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh yeah, you can't have my license.
Use Arena and Snap.
Yeah. It's like such an odd thing to stand on, but yeah. At least they've sorted it anyways.
Yeah, it means it's obviously going to be less confusing for the upcoming Marvel set.
Yeah.
Because that would have been atrocious to have another set with just completely two different spoiler seasons of cards.
But then, would your Spider-Man card, like your new Spider-Man card from Marvel Superheroes, would we call that Darvel, but a different thing? Like Darvel, blah, blah, because you have to keep Darvel as the Spider-Man guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Were
all the Spider-Mans called Darvel?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. But there should have been.
Because there's like that blue-black one that they're playing modern, isn't there? Was he Darvel as well?
Who? I don't know.
Is it like Symbiote Spider-Man or something?
I've absolutely no idea.
But yeah, that'll be good. That's a good move from Wizards.
Yes.
And nice to see it actually go on Magic Online as well.
Yeah. Because usually we are the forgotten ones, to be fair. Usually it's like, oh, we'll fix it for Arena, and then, you just can sort it out, basically. But yeah, glad that it's sorted. The confusion will be down to a very minimum. And for us Pauper fans, obviously, it's even more minimal because there's only like 3 to 4 cards that are playable, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world. Anything else to add on that before we move on?
No, I'm happy to start with the challenges.
Yeah, so we've just got the 4 challenges to cover. No qualifier or anything like that this week. So, just 4.
The first one being the Thursday, the 21st of May. 54 players, so sort of reasonable size for a Thursday challenge. First place, Mono Red Madness. Second place, Rakdos Madness. Third place, Grixis Wildfire. Fourth, Blue Black Fair. Fifth, Mono Blue Terror. Sixth, Blue Green Turbo Fog 78 card monster. Seventh, Elves, and eighth, Blue Black Fair. And then the 2 near misses. Ninth was Spirewalls, and 10th was Jund Wildfire. Couple of interesting decks on this Thursday challenge, to be fair. Obviously, cool to see Red Black Madness back, doing well. Sort of one of those decks that just randomly spikes and then disappears for 6 months. But Grixis Wildfire is a spiky one. It's like a hybrid, I guess, between Jund Wildfire and Grixis Affinity.
Yeah.
It's a sort of a way to look at it. It doesn't really run as much draw power, which is sort of a weird one as either of the decks, because it only has 4 of the 2 mana like Deadly Dispute cards. It has 2 Eviscerators and 2 Reckoner's Bargains, and then it has no Thoughtcasts. But to sort of fill that role, it has 4 Wellsprings and 4 Cryogen Relics.
Which, to be fair, is sort of... I think that's sort of fine, right? Because Cryogen... Like, Wellspring, obviously, in like Jund's, or even Grixis Affinity, to be fair, for the most part, it sits there, right? It sits there for a little while. You just play it, it sits there, it's drew your A card, and you don't get the card advantage until after you've found like a bargain effect. Where Cryogen obviously can sack itself, so you can have that like sort of 2 mana. You get your card back a lot sooner. So
yeah.
And also having both of them obviously is just you're gonna naturally churn through your deck more, right?
The other use of the blue over obviously the green from Jund is 4 Udroms as well. No Thoughtcasts, but 4 Udroms, 4 Cryogen Relics as the blue cards. Udrom seems like the reason really to do this. I feel like if Jund could play Utrom, it just would play 4.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is obviously the Utroms are a big pull, and obviously like Hydro / Bebs are obviously another good pull.
Yeah.
But I think the real thing that I do like about this list, which is surprising why I think Packdoll's in it, is getting 4 refurb, 4 Utroms is incredibly strong, because not only are they both in the air, they're both reasonable threats, right? Like refurb does a lot of like early game, and then like Utrom can like sort of pick up the sort of mid to late game. But both your guys fly, so they're immune to your Crackland Shaman.
Yeah.
And they're also immune to Jun's Crackland Shaman, which obviously a lot of decks like rely on, it's alright, Crackland will fix it, if you know what I mean. Which I think's really good, but then that then leads me to, why is Packdoll in here?
Yeah, it's the weird one. I feel like that's the Riven Chrysalis replacement, right? They're like, right, we need a 4-mana thing for this slot that we now can't play Chrysalis in.
Yeah.
What can we play? Yeah, it is a weird one. Like, the list plays more artifact lands than Jund, and more artifacts in general, right? Although there's no blood fountain, so it might be more similar on that front. But
yeah, looking at it, it runs 10. Like the list in 10th runs 10 artifacts, but then 4 refurbs as well, and then the normal 10 lands.
Yeah, so with the extra bridges, extra Utroms and more Packdolls, we're up like 10-ish artifacts on the Jund build. But yeah, 4 mana, 3/4 pseudo pinger seems like a bit of a weird one. Yeah,
it's doesn't seem great, but I don't know what you'd replace it with. But then I'm starting to think, like, do you need it? Like, is literally 4 Utroms, 4 refurbs not enough? Like, you could, like, it's not like you can't play Blood Fountain, so you can play Blood Fountain, and is that not enough? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that plus maybe you've got 4 Galv Blasts as well in this deck, so like 4 Galv Blasts, 4 Utroms, 4 refurb, and then even like a couple of Blood Fountains, and then just put 2 more, I don't know, card draw spells, interaction, whatever you want. Just seems like a better option, right? I can't imagine Packdoll being great in here.
No, I guess with Wildfire, like if you see the Wildfire on 2, it's probably quite good because you get to it a lot faster. You can cast it a lot more consistently. You get to it a bit faster.
Yeah.
Like if you can just like Packdoll on 3 into like a couple things on 4, or Packdoll on 4 into something with it, is probably quite good. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It seems like a bit of a weird slot.
Yeah, it stands out quite a lot for me here. But yeah,
but cool list.
Yeah,
let's see sort of a bit of a different slant on the whole Wildfire bridge shell.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool to see. I already prefer this list over Jund Wildfire anyways, but that didn't take much.
The other main standout is obviously the blue-green fog list from Adapter in 6th. It's 78 cards to start with. I'm not sure where that number comes from. If there's some I'm assuming there's some math behind being 78 and not 80 or 75 or...
You first of all, you've met Adapter, right? There is absolutely zero math gone into this. It's 100% just vibe based this. But no. It's cool that it's 78 cards though.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's really, like, I think basically what the thing that reminds me is they said they were trying something, but they didn't. The vague posted what they were trying. But my only thing I can assume is it's like loosely based on like the Teachings 101 deck from when Bonder's Ornament was legal back when. But instead of kill spells, they went, it's alright, I'll just fog everything forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Main standouts, I guess, for me that are sort of newish innovations or old cards come back. Obviously, there's 4 Bonder's Ornaments, which makes it 100% sense in a fog deck where you can just sit behind a stack of mana.
Yeah.
It's got quite a few Karoo lands in, obviously, to hit land drops every single turn. is it what, 4, 5, 6 Karoo lands, four growth chambers, a rock farm, and an aqueduct. To power through your Bonder's Ornament. There's also 4 Embrace the Paradox, which is a new card from Strixhaven, which is basically like just a slight upgrade on an existing card that I cannot remember the name.
Eureka Moment or something like that, or whatever it's called.
That's the one.
The 4 mana.
3, a green and a blue for an instant. You draw 3 cards, and then you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Obviously good with Karoo lands. I think Eureka Moment was 2 green, blue, and drew 2 cards. So it's 1 more mana, but draws 1 more card. So Strixhaven impacting again. And then the other sort of weird standout, I guess, is a weird fog that is Spore Cloud. Which is from what? Is that Fallen Empires? Is that from?
Yeah, I think so.
Tap all blocking creatures. No creatures deal damage in combat this turn. Neither attacking nor blocking creatures untap as normal during their controller's next untap phase. And it costs 1 green. So basically it's a tangle. Yeah. Because this deck isn't attacking, so nothing's blocking it. It's a slightly more expensive tangle. So it's the 5th tangle, essentially.
Yeah.
And then, as you would expect, the win con is to just deck your opponent.
Yep.
Or bore them to death.
Well, interestingly enough as well, so obviously this experiment clearly worked somewhat, right? They did well. They came 6th. But over the weekend, they played Turbo Fog in 2 IPTs in Italy. Top 4 one and top 8 another. Both were 60 cards with no Bonder's Ornament. So, obviously the experiment, whatever they were trying, worked, but there was no Bonder's Ornament at all in the 75, and we're still playing the Eureka Moment, Embrace the Paradox card, no Spore Clouds, etc. But yeah, pretty sad.
But yeah, a sweet one. And cool to see more cards from Strixhaven, see him play. Obviously, the set's been quite impactful already, and it's not been out too long.
And going back to Bonder's Ornament, which I guess we sort of like touched on, it's cool to see Bonder's Ornament go back into something, even if it wasn't like it didn't stay in obviously his deck for over the weekend. But it's cool that obviously he got. I can see this is probably where you would want it in these sort of decks, right? Where you're going to get a lot of mana, but your card draw's like a bit mid.
Yeah.
Where obviously you kind of want where it'll shine is where I can see it, right? You've got very little card draw. Like it's all, I guess it's got better now with Strixhaven. To be fair, with obviously the Embrace the Paradox. It's probably not as necessary, but overall it was a bit mid, right? In blue green fog, that was like a big reason for the black green fog's like fruition, right? Was because obviously it had so much better card draw. But yeah, it's cool that it managed to see some play. Top 8 in the week it got banned.
Any other decks you want to touch on from this Thursday challenge?
I don't think so. No, I think we're good.
Moving on to the Friday then. Friday the 22nd. 54 players again. First place was Gardens. Second was Jund Wildfire. Third was Mono Red Madness. Fourth was Mono Blue Fae. Fifth, Boros Tribe. Sixth, Firewalls. Seventh, Blue Black Snacker. And eighth, Rally Red. Then the 2 near misses. Ninth was Rally Red with the Axes in the deck. And 10th was Ponza. I guess the biggest standout for me is the 10th place Ponza list.
Yeah.
Because it also has Bonder's Ornament in.
Yep. I made a video sort of not on this list, but sort of like in vain to this / like Monstertron, right? Basically saying that obviously their article said they wanted to give control decks like life because there's no real control decks. And then I sort of stemmed on what does a control deck look like in Pauper nowadays, and it was like,
and why is it Ponza?
Yeah, no, and it was basically like, what I came to the conclusion where it was like Jeskai and Gardens are like the only real control decks. And I basically said, like, they might run it, but why would they? Because mainly Gardens, like, its card draw's fucking incredible. Why the hell does it need to run Bonder's Ornament? It's got, like, the thing with Gardens is it's not got bad card draw. And then Jeskai still has reasonable card draw. It's got, like, Muldrifter Ephemerate. It has got Lorien, it's got Brainstorm, like, you know, card advantage and all that sort of stuff. Like, again, I don't think it needs to run Bonder's Ornament. But the two decks that seem to really want Bonder's Ornament is stuff like Green-Red Ramp and Monstertron, where they have absolutely no card draw and have a shit ton of mana. So why would they not run this card?
Yeah.
And it seems...
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
It's like, it definitely is pretty cool because it's so free as well. Like I was playing Green Red Monstertron like for a video, and I versed Ponza. They were behind. I had a Bonder's Ornament. They had a Bonder's Ornament. I just won the game because they needed to draw cards, and they were just giving me cards. I think I got 6 cards off them, and I was like, okay, thank you. Here's all the 6 cards. I was like, this is great. I don't even need to activate mine. But yeah, it was like, it's just like, I just think it's really cool that these decks can play this card because they have a bunch of mana, the draws are whacked, and they have no card advantage.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. However, I don't know if I played Rumble, but I do think Bonder's Ornament is pretty good.
Yeah, I guess the Rumble obviously can get the Bonder's Ornament, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, you are having to make space, and there's not that much space in Ponza to be made, really. No. Looking at this, they've like trimmed on stuff like Avenging Hunters.
Not really what you want to be doing.
Which, yeah, it's a weird one because obviously the Bonder's Ornament will probably find you more threats, but it's going to be slower. Yeah, it's cool to see though. And also they've split the land destruction as well. They've cut an acid moss. So there's 4 thermocast, 3 acid moss, and then 2 structural distortion. So the usual, I would guess, the usual I would say is 4/4 of acid moss and thermocast. We have occasionally seen like a 1 of structural distortion. But this is committed to 2 distortion, and I'm assuming that's just because of all the Grixis Affinity Engine Wildfire, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, right? It still does this sort of pseudo what you want from a land destruction spell, but also then exiles the bridge if you needed to.
Yeah.
Obviously, being reds could be a bit awkward, but probably not, right, in the grand scheme of things. But, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, especially in Ponza, as you say, like, you've got no real space, but then also your rumbles don't hit your Ponza effects, right? So like, it hits everything else, but it doesn't hit like your other rumbles and then also your Ponza effects, which you kind of want. If you want one, if you found one, you want more. Like you want as many as you can get. That's kind of why like you lean towards the Cascade stuff, right? Because like cascading into either another big bomb or a Ponza effect is obviously really strong. But yeah, I could easily see just essentially replacing, well, I guess not Rumble, but like sort of the 3-drop and then cutting Rumble entirely and just run the 3-drop being Bonder's Ornament. It does seem like a perfect fit for the deck. You end up with loads of mana. It colour fixes you. It does sort of like a Jewel Thief job, but not being a 3/3. It just draws you cards, which is pretty nice. But what's your thoughts on Ponza at the moment in general? With obviously the gate stuff knocking around, but then you've also got like the Juns, the Wildfire stuff, and the Grixis Affinity. Like, wait.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's sort of one of those decks with some matchups that are obviously much improved by playing the Ponza stuff and not just being like green-red or green-ramp. But there's some matchups that are drastically worse for you playing those cards.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jun's like not too big right now. And if you can spike like a week where Grixis is quite low as well. But yeah, I don't know. Grixis is quite hyped, isn't it? So It's in a bit of a weird place.
I guess Jun's not that awful, right? It's not great. Like, they've got bridges, obviously, but for the most part, they run 8 bridges, and then after that, they use wildfire as like mana fixing. So like you can sort of like hit the card the wildfire for, and then sort of away they go. But they also then have Ponza effects for you because of the Utopia sprawls and stuff. So like it seems to be like a bit of a weird one.
I suppose Ornament probably makes that matchup quite a bit better though as well, because you can basically chew through the cast downs and the Crackland Shamans by just drawing more threats and playing more threats.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I really like the addition of Bonders Ornament in these sort style decks. Like the ramp style decks. It's pretty cool.
Outside of that, the Boros tribe list in 5th is still like developing and trying new bits and pieces. This one has lightning axes in over the lightning bolts. There's 1 lightning bolt, 3 lightning axe. Which seems like a perfect fit for the deck. Obviously, you've got a bunch of idlings and snackers and stuff to discard. Lutons, Pursue the Pasts, like strands, like you've got stacks of stuff you're happy to discard. Obviously, it can't go face, but it's basically kills any creature. Alongside that, there's also 1 of Fling and 2 Blacksmith skill. That's sort of interesting.
I don't understand. I can't. Usually they run. Is it Lauren's Escape that they normally run? There's a 2 of, I think. And I'm trying to figure out, is there a difference? I don't think so, right? Like, Lauren's Escape gives, I guess it's permanent. I guess, yeah, Blacksmith skill's permanent, right? And Lauren's Escape is a creature. So I guess, in effect, you're stopping... Yeah, target artifact or creature against hexproof and indestructible. So you lose a scry, but you can protect a land. Is that where we're at? So obviously, potentially preparing for the fact that Ponza has been everywhere on leagues this week, which is as expected, right? Green-White Gates was everywhere, plus Bonders Ornament unban. So maybe they were preparing for that. Or maybe it was just the one that had in choice, because it's quite... There is minimal between them both, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can play around Ponza, it's sort of worth it.
Yeah.
The scry is not irrelevant in this deck, but obviously we are seeing Ponza in a few spots in the league, so it sort of makes sense this week, definitely.
I think, to be fair though, as you say, like, the scry one's not irrelevant, but this deck does not lack card advantage. It's got like a massive hit, right? Like, in a deck that struggles for card advantage and is like trying to eke out every value, I could definitely. But like, you end up half the time you end up discarding a hand size. You end up with that many cards in your hand. So, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I really like this deck. I'm surprised at the 3 Spirit Mascots. I'm assuming it's just to lean in towards the combo finish, right? But like, Spirit Mascot was pretty good to me. Like, I don't know. I felt it was fine. I don't really understand the reason.
It's just like a one-sided abyss a lot of the time, isn't it? It doesn't really have evasion. But it just sort of runs in, gets jumped, runs in, gets jumped. Like, you've obviously got the Fling available in this one, but I could see it being a cut.
Yeah. Obviously, I played Hamuda's list, which lent into, like, I think it ran 2 Flings, 3 Lightning Axe, and no Lightning Bolts. And it sort of leaned into flinging either a tribe, or obviously just flinging a big Spirit Mascot.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think the only thing for me that's up in the air is obviously the Faithless Lutons. They are pretty good. Like, it's always a fine card right in board, but it's never like backbreakingly good like it is in Modern or whatever. I've seen a few lists leaning towards the other one, the Avatar card, the blue-red Sneaky Stacker combo card. The name's
Abandoned Attachments.
That's the one.
Instead of Luton?
Instead of Luton. Like, so you lose graveyard, like, stuff. Like, obviously, Faithless Luton's really good. Obviously, putting in the graveyard, it's a free thing to discard. It's obviously a thing that triggers Eidolons for like multicolour cards, obviously bringing them back. So it is interesting, right? Like Faithless is a better enabler, but Abandon Attachments is better once you're already enabled. I guess is interesting because you can like speed jump a Spirit Mascot, right? Because you can you can obviously like discard them to tribe and then make them leave with Abandon Attachments and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's cool that it's obviously developing. I really like the Lightning Axe change. Like, it felt really solid to me. I never thought, I wish this was a Lightning Bolt. Because, like, you are not short of having cards to throw in the bin. But yeah, pretty cool list. It's cool it's still doing well because it fell off last week, right?
Yeah, it had a missed week, I guess, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still a pretty legit deck.
Love to see it.
Other than that, the only other thing I had noted was that the fourth place Mono Blue Fear has 2 Spire Golems back in the main. Bit of a old Mono Blue tech. And then the sideboard also has 4 Cryo Shatter, which is quite a cool one that seems to be becoming a bit more commonplace. Obviously, we don't see a lot of Blue Fear at the moment, but the Cryo Shatter seems like a pretty solid 1-mana answer to Chrysalis.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
Anything else you want to touch on before we move to this Saturday?
I just want to mention the Gardens list. I really amuses me that the respect for the Green White Gates deck with the 4 Rancid Earth in the sideboard. Same as last week. Just tickles me. Yeah, that's it.
Moving on to the Saturday the 23rd, only had 37 players, so a very low attended Saturday.
There was an IPT on, which I'm assuming might have impacted it.
That makes sense. First place, Grixis Affinity. Second place is Mono Blue Terror. Third is Jeskai Skred. Fourth, Mono Blue Terror. Fifth, Gardens. Sixth, Mardu Simp. Seventh, Blue Black Bear. And 8th, Elves. And then the near misses, there's a 9th place, White Weenie Metalcraft, we're going to call it.
Let's go with that.
And a 10th place, Mono Red Madness. So although we're low on players, there's some pretty interesting decks to look at. I guess the Jeskai Skred, starting with that, it's probably the least interesting of the interesting ones. We also say Jeskai, but it has a black card in the main deck as well, just for the crack.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have actually any black lands, right?
No.
It's just casting it off the 1 of Bonder's Ornament or the 3 of Bender's Water Skin, which is a surprising split for me.
Yeah, it is for me as well. I feel like the Bender's Water Skin's probably the card you'll want, right? Like, I think that sort of led to it. Like, it does more for the deck, right? Like, it lets you cheat on mana. It doesn't give you card advantage, right? Obviously, that's the big downside. But you're not Wildfire, so you haven't got like 70 bazillion mana. So I just feel like Bender's Water Skin being, you can tap it on your turn and have access to it on their turn. Obviously, is like lets you sort of Wildfire them in a way, like you have that extra mana source. And I just feel like the Bonders on it was like, oh, let's test to see if that is the case. That's how I see this. But I can't imagine Bonders Ornament staying around in this list. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It is one of the lists that I thought, oh, truly, they just put 4 Bonders Ornament in it. But I guess I was more thinking of like the Wildfire version. I could see people still just jamming a bunch of Bonders Ornaments in this list. But I think especially now that we do have access to that Bender's Water Skin, that probably changes the equation from what it used to be.
I think the big thing for me, like as a sort of like back where when Bonders Ornament was like a thing, right? No one used to play like card advantage as such. It was just like card selection. And you haven't got much card advantage here. You're basically relying on like Muldrifter, Augur, Ephemerate, basically. Yeah. And that's sort of it. I don't know. It just seems like I feel like you don't need as much. You don't need to rely on Bonders on it as card advantage as much nowadays in a deck like this. But I I could see him play. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, over the course of a couple of months, like, Bonder's Ornament comes, oh, you just play 4 of these in this deck. Like, it's still going to be fine, right? It will draw you cards eventually, and it will mana ramp you, which is what sort of, like, you want it to do, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I just feel like Bender's Waterskin lets you stretch your mana a bit more, which it's already a fucking mana hungry deck, right? Like, bunch of 3 drops, 2 drops, and all that sort of stuff. But it is interesting. It is interesting to see, like, how this deck develops. I would like to see more Bonder's Ornament, right? But I don't know if it will, which is interesting.
Moving on to a deck that I'm sure you'll enjoy very much is the Mardu Synth.
A blast from the past. It actually, to be honest, doesn't look that much different than like the Mardu Synth from like Heisen days, which obviously where I originally started playing it. Like, obviously it hasn't got Deadly Dispute in, which obviously was the big miss. It is running Torch the Tower, which I really like. I really like Torch the Tower right now. It's obviously running Refurb now as well. But yeah, like the concept's still very much the same. Play some random crappy artifacts and Glint Hawk them back and have Wildfire fix your mana, basically. Is a long and short of it.
Yeah, I like how it also plays more Tithe Blades than Black White Blade.
Yeah.
Just a full 4 committed to Tithe Blade.
Yeah, I don't know why that's the case, like, because the card's not that great right now, right? But, yeah, fair enough.
Talking about cards that are not that great, why is the 2 Aven Riftwatcher in this sideboard? That card is not playable by any stretch of the imagination.
So, it blocks Refurb in a deck that you don't want to board it in for, and then secondly, it gains 4 life when you Skyfisher it. Honestly, it must be great. No, but it's not great, right? Surely not. If you're gonna
3 mana 2/3 flyer is not a rate that you need to be paying.
Why would you not? I don't understand why would you not play Lord Missionary over this? Like, if you're gonna play that effect, right? Because you basically paid 2 mana for the gain 4. You get 2/1, which obviously is a worse body than a 2/3 flyer, but you get the life there and then you don't have to bat, like, all that sort of stuff. Like, you just don't. It's just non-committal, right?
Yeah. It dies as well, doesn't it? You have to bounce it or it's going to die in 3 turns.
Yeah. Strange, right? Such an odd card choice. Well.
Yeah, I do not get that one at all.
But other than that, I think the deck's sort of fine, right? The problem is it hasn't evolved, I think, with the Wildfire stuff. Like, originally when Wildfire was a thing, right, you used to run, like, 11, 12 bridges because you want to maximize your Wildfire and, like, but it just felt clunky as anything. And no one used to, like, and then eventually nowadays, like, we've cut it down to, like, 8, maybe 9 at a push generally. Like, Jund only runs 8. This is still running 11. Like, it's very cheap, don't get me wrong. It's got a lot of, like, it doesn't run any 3 drops, right? It's all 1s and 2s. But you're still going to be playing a bunch of tap lands. So why? Why do this, Tissot? Just play 8 and move on with your day.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think it also just looks worse than Black White Blades. Like, I'm not sure what you're really gaining from... Like, you get Wildfire, but is that worth playing an entire other colour just to get Wildfire? And I guess Cracklan.
I think Cracklan is probably the bigger pull, right? But
Wildfire... But then it only plays 2.
Yeah, but it only plays 2, and I think Wildfire is just more like I kind of fix my mana, but you don't really because your mana's terrible regardless with or without Wildfire.
Yeah.
It seems weird.
And then finally, the spiciest deck of the challenge. I can't even remember what we called it. White Weenie Metalcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting deck. It's sort of White Weenie. It's got the 4 Inspector, the 4 Novice Inspector, the 4 Thraben Inspector. It's also got 4 Leonardo. It's got 4 of the Spider-Man Web Slinger or Darvel, whose Web Protects Sky. So it's sort of starting with a White Weenie base, but like very heavy on the legendary inclusions. But then it's also got 4 Ornithopter and 4 Phyrexian Walker.
Love it.
As, I guess, ways to enable the 4 Salt Road Pack Beasts. as well as the Leonardo and the Darvel, and then 4 Ardent Recruit, as well as 4 Mardu Devotee to finish off the 1-drops. So yeah, Ardent Recruit being enabled by just clues and random 0-drops.
Yep.
Is sort of an interesting one. The fact that you can actually use them, like, and they're not just completely irrelevant and dead on board is quite nice. Like, being able to just randomly attack with an Ornithopter for nothing and then bounce it to play the Spider-Man is quite cool. And then obviously you can turbo out your Salt Road Pack Beasts, but the guy still just dies to lightning bolt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's very like Leonardo coded. I feel like it's very reliant on just I need this Leonardo to do it for me. It does actually play non-white cards. It plays 4 Galvanic Blast and 4 Lightning Bolts that are basically cast off 4 Holdout Settlements and the 4 Mardu Devotees.
Yeah, I find this. It's cool, right? I really like this deck. It's very much. I'm gonna. Like, it's not winning with like Salt Pack Beast and Ardent Recruit and Darvel very often. I don't feel. Like, I feel like you're not killing them fast enough with some 4/3s and 3/3s that often. But I guess maybe with the Galv Blast and the Lightning Bolts, maybe you are. But you're only really gonna cast one of them a turn.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for me is that it doesn't play any of the like anthem effects. It's got 36 creatures, but then doesn't play like
Rally,
Guardian's Pledge or Chocobo or Rally the Peasants or anything like that. Which I'm not sure it is the correct way to go about it, but yeah, I don't know. I would probably be more like going towards those than I would be going towards like playing Bolts and Cal Blasts.
Yeah. What's your thought on no Springleaf Drum and Holdout Settlement? I feel like I don't know which way I prefer this.
16 lands is not a lot of lands.
No.
The problem with Springleaf Drum is it looked good in the deck, but it doesn't add much to it because it's not glitters anymore. Basically, like this is like the glitters style list, but the glitters is Leonardo who only procs off creatures. So having to cut creatures to put in things that don't proc your Leonardo, which is your basic win con, like. Yeah, I don't know. I think you just want to be even more committed on the creature plan, in my opinion.
I get, right, but I just look at the lands and I'm like, 16's not a lot. The amount of 1-land hands you're gonna have is quite high, right? But then are you gonna have how many 1-land hands? No, like your 1-land's Holdout Settlement, no Ornithopter or Phyrexian Walker, like that side of things. Like obviously, it just seems like it could be highly likely. But then obviously...
in that situation, even if you had Springleaf Drum, it does nothing, right? Because you cast a Springleaf Drum and then sit there because you still don't have Ornithopter or Walker.
Yeah. I just think... I don't know. I just feel like instead of Holdout Settlement, though, is what I'm sort of like... You play, like, extra planes and you're like... do you then get flooded if you run, like, say, 3 or 4 Springleaf Drums but keep 15, 16 lands?
I think maybe the actual answer to that is cut the Holdout Settlement for planes and then cut the rest.
Yeah, well... Well, there is that. But yeah. I actually feel like you could probably win games, to be fair, though. Like, if you have... Like, I feel like the Holdout Settlement would probably slow you down a fair bit, right? That I feel like winning with these 4/3s and 3/3s and no buffs is going to slow you down. Where if you literally just cut the red, run... But I can't remember the name of the card, the Ramosian Rally or the Rally the Peasants or whatever. Probably the Rally the Peasants.
Guardian's Pledge or something like that, yeah.
Does Guardian's Pledge only proc off white creatures?
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, Rally and like splashing it off devotees.
Yeah, it doesn't seem the worst. It doesn't seem the worst idea in the world. And then it means that you're not so leaned on Leonardo, right?
Yeah.
Like you actually can win with a bunch of 3 Ornithopters or whatever and some Ardent Recruits. And gets the job done.
Obviously, like the big problem with Leonardo is there's just there's no protection from him for him. So like you could right, oh, I'm going to commit to this attack with Leonardo, cheat him in, and they could either counter him or lightning bolt him. And then you've just threw a load of O2s and O3s to the depths, assuming they've got any blockers at all. I guess, like, given you've got 4, you could, like, play the first one. If they try and interact with it, you could put in another one. Although the sneak is, like, it's a specific time and window now, right, though, isn't it? Yeah, during the declare blocker step.
Yeah. So it's not, yeah, but it's no, that's not.
So you could, if they, like, kill one, you can still do it again.
Yeah.
But then that's relying on you having one of your 4 Leonardos in your deck that has no card draw.
Yeah, and have the mana to do it because you only have 16 lands.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to see another, like, take on the white weenie creature pile. I do like Ardent Recruit as a card. I think it's quite good. I'm not sure this deck is the best setup to use it, but it seems okay. I think it doesn't seem like it's going to be attacking for 3 on turn 2 very often, if at all. Because you basically, I guess you've got the jitters, but
yeah, you've got Ornithopter, Phyrexian Walker, and then 8 Inspectors, and you need 2 of them. Or an
you need 3 of them.
Oh, sorry, 3 of them. Yeah, because it's not an artifact itself.
So you'd have to, like, have double Inspector, Ornithopter on turn 2, or, like, Ancient Den, Ornithopter, Inspector.
I guess, yeah, maybe even with, I guess, no, it's not attacking then, is it? You could probably it's probably highly likely to maybe make it a 3/3 on turn 2. No, maybe not. I'm trying to think, because obviously you get Darvel sort of, like, weirdly increases the count, but it sort of doesn't at the same time.
Yeah, because you need the tapped guy, so you'd have to, like, you could turn 1 the Ornithopter, but then it needs to be tapped for the Darvel to get it back. But then that doesn't actually net anything. You want to be, like,
that's what I mean. I was thinking, like,
the
Inspector. Yeah. Which costs white, and it's like, yeah, just awkward, right?
Like, it seems fine for, like, turn 3, but, like, ideally you want to go turn 1 Ardent Recruit, turn 2 attack for 3 with it, if you can. So it maybe wants to lean a bit more into the artifact stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like the sort of idea behind it. It has a lot of, like, dead cards, but
you're gonna with this sort of
make this stuff work. Yeah, it's gonna have dead cards.
Yeah, like it does seem like a fine. It seems like a really good Leo deck. It seems like a really decent, like, Darvel deck. It seems like a really good, decent Ardent Recruit deck. It seems like a really decent Salt Road Pack Beast deck. But it's if all that works together. Yeah. Is the question, which obviously it seemed to have maybe ran hot this time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just wish Salt Road Pack Beast had 1 more toughness.
Yeah.
It would be so much better.
But yeah, cool to see. Cool to see people try new stuff. I do think you're right. Probably lean more into just the white weenie stuff and lean away from the red. But maybe if we do play, like, if we play this, maybe the red leans into the 4/4s and the 3/3, the 4/3s and the 3/3s enough to give you enough reach. Like, maybe you hit them a couple of times and just go blast bolt. But
sounds like a Teasdale MTG video in the works.
Yeah, probably.
Anything else for the Saturday?
No, nothing for me.
Moving on to the Sunday, the 24th of May, 64 players, so decent sized Sunday challenge. First place, Mono Black Sap, out of nowhere. Second place, Green White Gates. Third place, White Weenie. 4th and 5th place, Elves. 6th and 7th place, Mono Blue Fair. 8th place, Blue Black Fair. And then the near misses, White Weenie Metalcraft in 9th again. And 10th place, Eggtron, which is cool. Yeah, quite an interesting Sunday. I guess we may as well start with the White Weenie Metalcraft, given we were just talking about it. This is actually quite a different list to the one we were just talking about. It's sort of the same premise with the Inspectors, although it's only got 7 rather than 8. The Mardu Devotee, the Ardent Recruit, the Leonardos, the Ornithopters, the Phyrexian Walkers, and the Salt Road Pack Beasts. However, the Darvels have been cut in favour of Search Party Captain, which is the 4 mana 2/2 that costs 1 less for each creature you attacked with this turn, and when it enters draw a card. So ideally you want it to be like turn 3 or 1 mana 2/2 that draws a card, I guess. They're also trying a one of Argivian Phalanx, which is like Salt Road pack based, but also 4 toughness. It's the 5 and a white for a 4/4. Costs 1 less for each creature you control, but instead of drawing a card, it just has vigilance. So better body, I guess combat ability, but not drawing a card is sad.
Yep.
And then as you sort of leaned towards, they are playing 4 Springleaf Drum and no, whatever the land's called, Holdout Settlement. But only 14 lands as well. So they've cut 2 lands for 2 Springleaf Drums.
Yeah.
And then the splash colour is actually 2 colours this time. They've got still the 4 Galvanic Blasts, but 0 bolts, and instead there's 2 Foul-Tongued Shrieks, which is a single black instant. Target opponent loses 1 life for each attacking creature you control. You gain that much life. Which I don't actually hate in this type of list. Although, again, I would probably commit to it as just, okay, you just play 4 of this and don't play the red and don't play the Gal Blast.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think stretching it enough to like cut basically your splash is what Mardu, Devotee and Springleaf Drum. It's sort of the same, right? It's just instead of Springleaf Drum, it's Holdout Settlement. But you've now got 2 colours. But I guess it doesn't matter, right? Like, you know what I mean? It could be 4 colours, I guess. You know what I mean? Because all the cards, like, do you know what I mean, just make the same colour. Like, there's no difference. Yeah. If you've got one, you've got access to both, right?
This is a different player as well, for what it's worth. It's different list, different player. For me, I don't like this one as much. I think the Darvel gives, I don't know if it should be 4 of, but it gives the other one sort of a bit more mid-rangey power. Where this obviously replacing it with Search Party Captain. Like, Search Party Captain's just like another 4 inspectors, essentially. Like a 1 mana 2/2 on turn 1 would be good, but on turn like 3, where this is gonna be, just doesn't feel like it's even though it draws a card.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely, I think it's, to me, I feel like I do prefer the other one overall. Like, obviously, leaning in more in the inspectors, all that sort of, like, this has much, I don't even say it's got much bigger end, because it doesn't. It's running the Phalanx as another pack base, which is fine. Like, I can get behind that. I do agree with you. I don't like the Search Party Captain over the Darvel. But I also don't like 8 bolts in the other one.
Yeah.
So, like, I think overall I prefer the other one, because I prefer, like, as you say, the mid-range plan, but I also like what some of the stuff that this is trying, right?
Yeah, I quite like the idea of the Foul-Tongued Shriek as well. I don't know if it would play out to be enough, but essentially just being able to, it's like it's playing an Anthem effect, right?
Yeah.
It's like double the power on your Leonardo, for example, or make your Ornithopters and Phyrexian Walkers actually do something. Being 1 mana as well is pretty big. I'm not sure it's as good as an Anthem, and obviously it's sort of like, it's a weird number with the Springleaf Drum, because if you're using the Springleaf Drum to cast it, then that's 1 less damage it's actually doing, because you've got 1 less attacking creature. But I do like the idea of like this inclusion.
I think compared to an Anthem effect, the one thing to note that it does, well, it gains life is a note, which is not irrelevant, and it also gets around fogs.
Yeah, because it's a loss of life rather than a damage.
Yeah, which is not nothing. I think it's things to just take into consider. I don't know what I would prefer. Like, Remorsian Rally is sort of the same sort of thing, right? Which has 4 in the sideboard. It buffs the whole board. It's not white creatures like Guardian's Pledge, but it taps a guy, but it's free.
Yeah.
So, like, you might be able to get around it that way. I don't know, it's just interesting.
You don't really have any guys with vigilance, other than the one of Phalanx. Like, none of you guys have vigilance, so you can't really, like, benefit off again, it's like the Springleaf Drum problem. You're having to lose a guy and lose some damage to play it.
Yeah.
If you want to play it for free. But with 14 lands, like, you're not really playing 4 mana.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing you're going to do, I guess there's quite a lot of creatures, so obviously the chance you could play a guy, the guy with Summoning Sick, and then you can tap a guy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's with both Springleaf Drum and thing, but that's still not free, essentially. You still need a mana, effectively, to play your guy. But yeah, it is interesting. I like what these two players are cooking. Like, I like the ideas that they're coming up with. I like Ardent Recruiting, I like all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just finding the right balance. I think I'd lean heavier on the less heavy on the splash.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a cool shell that has a lot of room to be developed. So I'll be interested to see if we see it in like the next few weeks as well.
What's your thoughts on Lotus Petal instead of something like Springleaf Drum or Hold-Out Settlement? Just a
deck that can't really draw cards. I think it's probably bad. Yeah, I think it's probably bad.
Just interesting. I just like the idea of what they're doing. It's obviously, I don't know if they need the extra colours and stuff, but yeah, pretty cool.
The 10th place, Eggtron. Another sort of cool one to see back. Only 2 Bonders Ornament, but again, it's not the deck I would have put Bonders Ornament into. Like, especially, well, not the Tron variant for sure. Like, it's one I didn't really expect to see both back and with Bonders Ornament in.
Yeah, it's very strange. So this pilot, Entropy 263s, I think they used to make content called Birdman on YouTube. Retired quite a while ago, to be fair, like a good 5 or 6 years ago, was famous for playing Eggtron, and just occasionally comes back. It's just funny that obviously I feel like Bonders Ornaments brought them out of retirement to try. But yeah, I do agree. I think Bonders Ornaments doesn't seem like the deck for this, right? You're not sacking it to bring it back to cycle draw on cards or all like that. It's just a mana rock, right? You just don't really do too much crazy in there.
Yeah, and there's not too much new cards or anything going on in it either.
No.
It's just sort of traditional Eggtron. I guess as traditional of an Eggtron as you could get. Yeah. But cool to see it back. Cool to see it still being able to compete.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the only other thing I had really was the mono black sat in first. Quite a cool list to see come first. Obviously, it's one of those decks that just sometimes is gone for quite a while, but still clearly has the power to do well. It's not really trying anything new. The flex slot sort of being it's got 2 Accursed Marauders in the main, 2 Sadistic Glees, gone for 3 Snuff Outs, and then a 3/3 split of Unearth and Rites of Consumption. Yeah. So the main's it's not stock, but it's not out of the normal. And then sideboard, there's 3 Mutagenic Growths, which are quite an interesting sort of addition.
I'm trying to figure out what Mutagenic Growth's for. Dart, maybe, but I feel like why are you bringing a Mutagenic Growth against Dart?
Yeah, I guess stuff like Lava Dart and the Festivities, it gives you a bit of additional protection from.
Yeah, just seems strange to me. But other than that, yeah, you're right. Nothing's too crazy, right? It's not a normal stock list, but nothing. The numbers are up and down based on normal cards that are already or were in the deck.
Yeah.
It's not too. But yeah, the Mutagenic Growth does stand out, and I just can't seem to find a fit for it. What you're boarding that in for?
Maybe Drowning Sorrow as well.
Yeah.
From a Gardens or from the Mirror.
But what is it keeping alive that's not already alive? Do you know what I mean? Do you not
just a fodder piece? You could sack, say if you had a Beetle, a Bloodthorn Vampire, and a couple of fodder guys. I guess you could sack one full fodder guy to keep the Beetle and the Vampire, and then Mutagenic the other to keep that in play as well.
Right, okay.
So you don't lose all the power in the next turn. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am not a mono black aficionado, but
Yeah, no, that seems fair. Yeah, it's like sort of like obviously I was thinking like, oh, your main pieces like your, as you say, like your blood throne and your beetle can stick around anyways generally because you just sack stuff. But I guess obviously keeping a fodder piece so they don't die on the backswing or whatever is.
Yeah, I think it's probably more for like protecting in the opponent's turn than for using it. Obviously, you can just use it as a shock in your turn when you're attacking, but I think that for the most part, it would be like protecting something that would normally die from like an end of festivities or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, also works quite well with Nested Shambler. You can mutagenic it and then sack it and get a bunch more squirrels.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything else to add?
No, I'm happy to move on.
No, pretty cool. Pretty cool challenges. Low numbers, I'd like to say overall, but like obviously 37 on a Saturday is pretty low.
Yeah.
But pretty cool to see. Regardless, like still cool stuff coming out of them. Regardless. Moving on finally to our listener question. We've got a question from Little Hugh. And the question is, if you could pick cards that would go into a Pauper Masters 2027 set, what would you pick? Well, first of all, we're assuming that it's like just reprints that are already existing in Pauper. It's a fairly big assumption to make. Like you don't add reprints and stuff to that. Like downshifts, to that. So they said say 10 cards for us, but we'll just like sort of name like standard things that we'd like. I don't know if we can name 10 cards that we'd like to see each, but we can give it a go.
Yeah.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You go for it. I'll just spiel at the end.
Yeah, I think to be fair, the expensive stuff, right, is the big one. Like the big sideboard cards is a given. It would be pretty free, like the dust to dust that everyone's asked for an eternity. Like I don't really know if you want Hydroblasts, Pyroblasts, Bebs, Rebs, but like it's a perfect fit for them. Like it probably would fit in the whole every format can appeal to them sort of thing. I guess you've got to have Oubliette in there, of course. Not very highly played card, but was a widely renowned card that needed a reprint for God knows how long. So I feel like that's got to be in there. I'd go with, I don't know if they would license anything to do with like Universes Beyond, but I feel like Lorien Revealed, Troll is a big one. With my first thought. Breath Weapon is another big one. That card's ridiculous. Avenging Hunter is another big one. Like awkwardly printed cards that are really good is always a good one. That fixes a Magic Online problem, and then but I don't know about. But yeah, other than that, you just have really cool stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a few ways to look at it as well. I'm not actually sure if there's any cards anymore that are not. Do you know, like the Battle Screech was a common on Magic Online or a common in paper and not on the other.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any cards still like that, but it would be quite a good place to fix that.
Yeah, that's a good one actually.
Utrom is a good one that is obviously recently printed but immediately needed to reprint. I would probably go in a different direction with it though, to sort of actually sell it or make it more interesting to Pauper. Obviously Masters sets we've had in the past did downshift stuff, like I think it was Iconic Masters that like downshifted Swift Spear.
Yeah.
I would probably like try and include some interesting downshifts. One that come to my mind from looking at those challenges and looking at those White Weenie decks in particular as a card that would be perfect for that kind of archetype and probably would just not really be broken. It would just be quite a cool addition. Is Memnite as like a 0 mana 1/1. So you've got some actual power, and you can play it on turn one if they don't play a guy. Actually get some chip damage in. But I think there's a lot of downshifts that you could argue for that would be quite interesting. I would probably say only do a few would be the best way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this product is like maybe not as a full set, but as maybe, I don't know, like a box set or something is something that could sell, especially with the like treatments and stuff that they do to cards now. and the like powerful cards that are in Pauper. Like if you've got, say, like a collector booster style set, and you've got the option to get like full art foil lightning bolts or full art foil dark rituals, like surely there's a big even like commander players are going to want that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something, right?
Like alt art Utron monitors or foil Utron monitors at all, because it doesn't exist. Lotus Petal could be quite a big one as well.
That's what I was going to say there.
Yeah, it's again an interesting idea. I don't think Wizards will do it, sadly, but it would be cool to just have like even if it was like a super small set, like 100 cards or something. Maybe it wasn't draftable, but it's just like Pauper Pimp set.
Because
there's just a load of reprints.
There is a lot of cards that, like, not only some of them are for Pauper, like Dust to Dust, probably one big one for like Pauper, but you can have, like, as you say, like Blasts, Petals, Dark Rituals, Brainstorms, all that sort of stuff that are widely played in Pauper that you can just bling them out.
Yeah. And would appeal to other formats.
To make them sell. But yeah, I do think it'd be pretty cool. I don't think though that, I don't think the appeal's there, right? If you do a whole Masters set, because the whole booster side of things doesn't really work either, because they're all commons. So then what are you going to then give them all rarities?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a strange one. Like, you're going to make Dust to Dust a mythic. Like, do you know what I mean? It just seems odd.
Yeah. But then that wouldn't work for your downshifts either, because if you then put something like Memnite in and you put it as uncommon, it's still uncommon and it's not legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there's, like, logistics side of things. But, yeah, it's, like, printing cards. Like, basically, essentially what needs reprinted or what needs downshifted. It's not the worst idea.
I think you would have to do everything as just a common and just have 15 commons.
Yeah.
Or have smaller packs and have 10 commons and just have it be cheaper because it's a set of commons.
But it's a set of commons that everybody wants. So then do you not then make it premium product price because it's one of the it's a master set?
Yeah.
Oh, look, that stemmed us back into our Pauper thought anyways. Anything else to add?
No, that's it from me.
No, thank you for the question. And that is all from us at Cast and Commons. Thank you all for your continued support. Do not forget to tell your friends, your family, and your local surgeon. Until next time, and don't forget to stay hydrated. Peace.
Bye.